Doomsday 3.
We're in Doomsday 1. He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix. All the especially from Force and
you got people on the defense talking about it. You better get your ass the ball. You better get the ball.
I just got to say, when it comes to my Dallas Cowboys, well,
Had you stayed
For sure, they would have thrown it off because this guy gets on you, motherfucker.
and then I go to bed every night like Sneaky G, man, I promise you that we got a special guest. What is up, Cowboys Nation, man? Hopefully you guys are having a great morning, great start to the weekend. I keep thinking today's Sunday for some reason. I don't know why, but hopefully you guys are having a great Saturday. You might see a little tiredness in my eyes, a little sleepy in the eyes. It's been a long Thursday and Friday. Watching this draft, learning about some of the players. I'll be honest, I don't do in-depth coverage. I don't study all the picks from about today. I'm leaning on the experts to help me out after the first couple rounds, man. I just it's one of them things, but everything I've seen so far, I think it's pretty damn good, man. What is up, EJ? Maybe I'll be seeing you later. I'm going to be on Cowboys Can Fan. Going to be doing their podcast today, and also UK Cowboys. So maybe I'll bump into EJ and Boys in the Zone. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe to their to his channel as well, doing some great stuff. So I think it was a great day yesterday. EJ, love to have your opinion. You're the one of the guys that I lean on, for the expert opinions of some of these guys, because it's getting down to the nitty gritty. But the one thing I'll say is what I feel good about this draft, and definitely I want to hear in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Seems like we got some dogs coming in. Seems like we got some guys that got violent intentions when they're on this football field. I mean, Tyler Guyton, he had mentioned that even in his press conference, is when he's playing with some violent intention. So I like to see that. The linebacker out of Notre Dame, I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But, watching him on the field, obviously he's got the hair, so that makes me think of Troy Polamalu from the Steelers, who was a Hall of Fame safety. But it looks like he plays with some violent intentions, and that's one thing that they've talked about. He is he's going there to hit. Looking at some of his highlights, it's that way. Connor Beebe, it seems like he's that way. Watching the tape and watching the game against Texas, those are some top D tackles that he was going up against. So, and then Nealon as well. So I'm happy with it. I loved yesterday. EJ says Boys in the Zone linebacker was a bit of a reach from where I had him. And that's the thing. It's like the Cowboys don't have, a pick in the fourth round, right? So they're not picking to the fifth. So if you like a guy like that, and maybe you had a fifth round grade on him and they don't have a pick, I mean, do you just kind of bite the bullet and say, hey, man, I got to get the guy I like that fits in my scheme? And I know Zimmer, looking at some of the tape on this kid, he looks like a Zimmer linebacker. So I think it's definitely exciting. I wasn't Connor Beebe is knocking you down. Yeah, with knocking you down, beating your ass. That's what I want to hear. So yeah, fourth round grade. So yeah, that could be one of those situations where they don't have that pick, so they're just they got to get something going there. But the one thing, not concerned, but running back. I mean, the thing that I had said was I'm good with. I was pretty comfortable with their offensive line. If they wanted to get an offensive lineman in the first round, I was good with it. But I wanted to see them getting running backs and getting a running back and defensive line. I mean, we got run on and we couldn't run the ball. So those are the two areas that I was like, we got to fix. So I think with the linebacker, they solved that. I think with Nealon, he as an edge rusher, I think that definitely helps. I'd like to see him get a defensive tackle, but now you're getting kind of that later part of the draft. You don't know really who's going to be there. Disappointed they hadn't drafted a guy from the U yet. So, hopefully they'll get that. But the one thing I'm thinking is running back. So there's a lot of running backs left. I'm actually surprised that there are such good running backs left. Now, 4th round, you think there's going to be a run on them, but you don't know what's going to happen. So is Allen? You think he'll be there? I like him. I know Kelly loves him. Kelly will be getting drunk doing a Jerry Jones video if we end up getting him. So do you do that? Isaiah Davis, I liked him out of South Dakota State. Obviously, you got the Notre Dame running back. I can't believe Wright from Tennessee is still there. So you got to know that there's going to be a run on these backs coming up. The only thing that kind of concerns me is, let's answer some questions here. So concerns me is a comment Jerry Jones made, which we'll get into. Deuce Vaughn. See, I just think Deuce Vaughn, he's always going to be just like, to me, he's a gadget guy. He's a guy that he's going to get maybe, 5 touches. That's receptions, running the ball, this and that. I just don't think he's ever going to be, a huge, lead dog or backup running back. I just don't know if he has the size to really do it. I mean, you're just getting at another level. But I think if you get him in open space, I think he's a guy that can be very, very dangerous in the open field. Let's see, Trey Benson. Yeah, no, we passed him up, but they were getting the DN. Was that the DN in the 2nd round or was it the 3rd round? Help me out because everything's going together on me. But I don't know. I just it's hard because everyone says you pass up or you get this, and they have a pecking order of what they want, and if they see running backs falling, it's kind of one of those things. Running backs are just becoming such a commodity. I don't know if they just value them that much, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. If they don't draft a running back, what I was going to say, and I don't know, you guys can confirm this or not, but I was reading this morning, Jerry Jones, after, they do their post-day press conference, they talked about Zeke. Maybe it was after, or it had to have been, because someone questioned him about not getting a running back yet. And then he kind of was talking about Zeke, and it sounds like Zeke may be coming back with a role with the Cowboys. But he was saying he was looking at the tape. They were looking at the tape at Zeke at New England, and they feel, that was a starter they looked at. So I hope that's not the plan. Let's just say I hope that's not the plan. And what I mean by that is I'm happy. I love if Zeke comes back because I think there's a role for Zeke. Short yardage, I think. Goal line. If you look at some of the inefficiencies that we had in our running game, there was some of that. But I sure don't want him to be our lead dog and our futures in his hands. There's a lot of tread there. There's a lot of, injury history. They got to draft a young guy. And I think you can run it a little bit. You're going to run a 2-headed monster. You could even run a 3-headed monster the way the NFL is today. But they've got to be able to run the ball. They got to be able to run the ball. Wide receiver, cornerback, and running back. See, EJ, this is only, and this is why I'd question. We can't stop the run. And I'm looking at this defensive line. I do not know how they don't get. To me, it would be all defense and a running back, all defensive line and a running back. I'm really worried about this defensive line and stopping the run. They lost some guys, and the guys they lost, I'm not saying that, they were all world, but they were guys. I mean, Hankins was a big body in there. Who's replacing him? Dorrance Armstrong. All right. Nealon, he's probably going to replace him. Sam Williams, let's just say he replaces Fowler. If he gets going and has the potential, but that interior defense is very concerning. Now, I personally would go after one of my Florida guys, Taylor, or Fabian from Florida State, or Taylor from Miami. That's just me, but I'm biased. I'm biased to Miami, and then I'm second biased to Florida. So we'll see what happens. You think Zeke might? Are you saying Zeke might surprise? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I missed that. How good was Marty? Was Nealon? I know he was in the conference. I don't know him. I don't know him as well either. I'm not going to sit there and try and say he's all world because I don't know. I mean, I will leave it to the experts. I don't watch a lot of a lot of their film. Western Michigan is not a school that's on my radar to watch college football games. I'm an ACC, SEC, South, big, and I like watching the Saturday night games. Everything I've read on him, seems like he's got a motor, but he's going to have some flaws too. But what I saw and what I said earlier is some nastiness, and it just seems like some of these guys got some nastiness. Yeah, he probably did get a penalty, and I think Zimmer will hopefully clean that up. I had said that with Sam Williams, everything that happened after the Green Bay game was pretty disappointing. The party and all that kind of stuff, and someone said that, I don't know, someone was dogging McCarthy about penalties. And I'd made the comment, it's interesting that when he was with Green Bay, he was one of the lowest penalized teams. So, sometimes I think it's a little bit of a culture issue with Dallas because Dallas always seems to be one of the highest penalized teams, even under Garrett. There was years where they were the highest penalized team. There were years in there that they were doing that. So I don't know. I think Zimmer's going to come in and clean that up, and maybe Zimmer is, Williams is what he needs. Zimmer's going to be what he needs to get his ass, in line. It seems like he's saying the right things now, and he's got a world of talent. He was my guy that was going to break out into the season last year and have 10.5 sacks. So I don't know. So. Plenty of solid players left at those positions. They were talking about cornerback, wide receiver. Yeah, if they take a cornerback, I don't have an issue with it. They only have 4 picks. So me personally, 2 of those picks need to be a defensive tackle. One of those picks better be a running back, I hope. And then do whatever else you want with the other one. I think when you get to this point, especially at receiver, sometimes unless you're finding a real diamond in the rough, a Tank Dell, someone like that, the receivers you have now, that's pretty much what you're going to be riding with, what's as far as making any kind of impact. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I think they still can get a running back. I still think they can get a running back, but yeah. So we just watch, man. We watch this. Now, the thing I'll say is, Jay Tuck and I were kind of joking about it. He's a Florida State guy. I'm a Miami guy. And all y'all go look at you got to look at history. When the Cowboys team of the 90s, when they were winning them Super Bowls, littered with hurricanes. Now, maybe Jimmy Johnson being the coach had something to do with it, but they were littered with hurricanes. And no hurricanes to be found. I mean, they got red wine, but he's like on the practice squad or on the whatever it is. I mean, I'm talking about getting some canes in here that's got some swag, maybe some Knowles that got a little swag. That's what this team is missing, but hopefully they got it with this draft. I am half joking because Miami hasn't been as solid lately. But I will say this for the record: you guys mark this tape. Cam Kitchens is going to be a big play guy for the Rams. I think a lot of times, these scouts and everyone gets caught up in the measurables and this guy is 40. His 40 wasn't great or this wasn't great. Go watch the film on Cam Kitchens. He was around the ball, ton of interceptions, ton of turnovers, big hitter. And he played at Miami, solid competition. And he always was big. And they're like, well, his 40 time was too slow at the combine. Well, look at his 40 time. There was like they were talking about a receiver. And his 40 time was slow. Then they're watching a highlight, and he's running past people for like a huge touchdown. So there's speed when you're wearing your gym shorts and track shoes, and then there's football speed. And it's just like Deion Sanders, who is fast as hell, don't get me wrong. But they always asked Deion, how fast are you? He goes, I'm fast as I need to be. And I think a lot of times there are football players with that football speed that's as fast as they need to be. So I think that's one of the things you need to look at. Let's see. I can't, Boise State South. No, we went through that run with a lot of Boise State. I didn't see too much. We're turning into like that Big Ten country, a little bit. We're getting some of those guys in there, and now it's been Big 12, obviously with Kansas State and Oklahoma, which is now going to the SEC. So I guess they're going to the SEC. So we'll see what happens there. And Cam's going to do good. I'm happy he didn't go to Philly. How about that? I'm happy that Philly passed him up. And I saw that they got Cooper. Is it Dejean from Iowa? I mean, what a I don't know who that person was in the Philadelphia media, but what an asshole. I mean, the guy just gets drafted, and they got to bring some race into it because he's white and playing cornerback. And, we joke about it. I mean, we all have fun with it. I mean, the last one I remember was Jason Sehorn. But, man, this is this guy's day because he's getting drafted, and you got to ask a dumbass, always got to bring race into it. I don't want to turn this into that kind of show, but I'm just saying it was just kind of like Philadelphia media, man. There's something else. We need to get some speed, and that's the thing. I thought they were utilizing Turpin, on the offense and getting him going. So that's where they can get that kind of speed guy if they want to use that. But I think they're kind of going with what they got. So really, day two's done. You get all these draft grades. My son, he's like I was when I was his age. He came in and Dad, how's this draft? I gave it a D. And I know why he gave it a D. He wants wide receivers. He wants, cornerbacks. Say he wants glam. He wanted us to get a running back. He wants all of that. And I get it. I mean, when I was his age and when I was younger, it's like I used to get so pissed if they drafted an offensive lineman. I'd get so pissed if they drafted, a defensive line because I wanted the glam. And so I told him, I said, man, just relax. I said, the game, and one day you're going to come up to me and you're going to say, damn, Dad, you're right. The game is won at the line of scrimmage, both sides. And Dallas, especially on their defensive side, they got pushed around. They got beat up and knocked around. And that's where they got to fix. Now, they didn't go all in with that yet. Hopefully they do today. But the same thing can be said on the offensive line. Now, I thought our offensive line wasn't as bad as what people thought. Turns out maybe they're right and I'm wrong because Dallas Cowboys seem to agree with them because they went ahead and got 2 offensive linemen. And so it's one there too. So that's what I was happy to see that. That's why I'm not gonna knock them for their draft. I'm not going to give a draft grade. I mean, how the hell do you give a draft grade when you hadn't even see these guys play it in the NFL? I mean, some guys can make that transition. Some can't. And, definitely need to get a defensive tackle. Definitely need to get a running back. I've echoed that 100. Yeah, no doubt about it. Philly media is always racial. Doesn't matter after black or white or Mexican, Asian. It doesn't even matter if you're from another country. Yeah. That's probably why I'm not there. I'm not a Philly fan, but it doesn't speak for the great people. There are a lot of great people in Philadelphia. Some of my best friends, believe it or not, are Eagles fans. And, so I'm not gonna dog it out. Yes. All about the educate my boy and tell him that it's all about the trenches. It's all about them trenches. So I'd love to see that. Yeah, you're on right there. That's my list right there. That's my wish list of defensive tackle. I don't know if he's going to be there, and I don't know if the Cowboys are going to move up. Are they going to do something? Are they going to make something happen? So, but I'd love it. I'd love it if he was there, man. That'd make me pretty happy. I need to get something to go. So. Look at that. Even my Eagle fan, he knows that. And I thought the Eagles, they had an opportunity to get a center. And, I think it was a few times, right? It was the kid from Oregon. They didn't get him. So maybe that guy's not as great as they say. I don't know. But It's going to be fun, man. This is, like I said, this is the time when football season starts for the Cowboys. This is the time. We still have post. That's another big point. There's some guys out there that they can get. There's some guys out there that they can get with those post, June 1st cuts. There's still some free agents out there. Maybe that is what they're thinking. I heard a rumor that Gilmore may be coming back, and maybe a Zeke and Gilmore coming back. Let them fight over 21 if they end up doing that. The other thing I'd say is, I've kind of talked about it before. I wrestled in high school, so I know what wrestling can do. And I had a lot of, some of my teammates played football, and even, I still love the sport, watch the sport at, local high schools and things like that, and support it. And you see a lot of these linemen, and you see a lot of these defensive linemen, offensive linemen, even linebackers. I mean, Ray Lewis, he graduated high school the same year I did. Thankfully, I wasn't 152 pounds, but also wasn't a state champion. So that would have been a bad day to have to wrestle Ray Lewis. So, but I think wrestling background helps so much, especially with the line. And you see that. You see some of these guys, and I look for that, and they were talking about it on the TV. That's why I just kind of thought about it, is you love seeing that with these linemen, getting that background and getting that wrestling background in there. So definitely. And like I said, love the linebacker we got from Notre Dame. Doesn't it look like Troy Polamalu from our old school guys? I mean, I just got this visions of him with that, whatever number he's going to wear, the long hair flowing out, just laying them running backs and receivers coming across the middle or on the edge or whatever, man. It's going to be good. And I think that too. I think you're looking at this line, and we basically, and I will defer to the experts, but I think you got Guyton at left tackle. You're going to have Tyler at guard. I think BB's going to end up being your center. And then obviously you got Martin and Steele. And I just think you're going to have some options. Now, obviously you got Richards. You got Hoffman, who I do like. Bass, I do like. Now this offensive line that everyone was like, oh, man, for those who are concerned, you're like, hey, this offensive line ain't looking so bad. I mean, this ain't looking so bad. We got a lot of potential here. We got an opportunity to really get in these trenches and cause some damage. And they're going to need to, because you saw what Washington did. I mean, their defensive tackles are, about the best in the NFL, that unit for the Commanders. Philly is always, their defensive front's always going to be good. The Giants are the Giants. We'll just say that. But it's going to be interesting. What's up, Steven? What's up, man? And appreciate you guys hanging. I'm going to hang here for about, until about 45 hours. Then I got to go watch my son play a little flag football. His team, took some lumps. They made some changes, some roster changes, some philosophy changes. So I got to see if they're doing good. So imagine Braylon Allen. Yeah, see, that's where that's what they got to get a running back. If they're bringing Zeke back, which it sounds like they are. I know I've already committed that they are. They got to have something to pair with him, right? They got to have something to pair with him. And I think Zeke's role was kind of like that Mark Ingram. And I said that a couple of years ago. And I think Zeke could carve out that kind of role, like a Mark Ingram, or is it Williams? Hopefully my memory's right, who was with New Orleans and he went to Detroit. The running back who got like 20 touchdowns and like 300 yards. I mean, I think that's what Zeke can do. So don't get caught up in the yards per carry. Like a lot of you, welcome back here, 2.5 yards a carry. His yards per carry may be low, but it's about, he's going to be getting those in the trenches yards, grinding out yards. So you're not going to have those big breakouts. I mean, those days are over for him more than likely. But I did see him make a big play with New England. It was like his longest run since that Steeler game. And Peyton Wilson, here's the thing. And again, I'm not going to claim to be the expert, but he fell. A lot of people had him. I saw where people had him in the first round, and he fell and fell and fell. And there's got to be some injuries there. And I was reading something where he, his kind of neck injury, he has a neck injury and it's similar to like, Van Der Esch. Now, I don't know if that's true. So this is just what you read on social media and you read on ESPN, you read on that. There's a reason why he fell. And that's where you get a lot of this, where they just kind of keep falling back, because now teams are starting to wonder, well, maybe there is something up. I hope he's healthy. I hope he has a great NFL career. But I'll be saying, for me and for being a Dallas Cowboy fan, I don't want no injuries, man. I don't need people coming in with question marks. I don't know what his question marks are. So again, just me talking, but I don't need that. We don't have time. We don't have the luxury, any of that. We need some ballers that are coming in as injury free as possible. Now, football, it's a violent sport. Anything can happen on any play. So I just want to lower that risk. I want to lower that risk. Now, excellent point, Chris. James Williams from the U. I think, he's a big safety, 6'5", if my memory's right. He's a guy, keep an eye on that. If you're going to go out and look at something in the secondary, James Williams, who could be there in the 6th. I think that's someone, if he's there, I would take him, man. I'm just telling you, don't get caught up in all the combine stats, man. Go look at the tape and go look at the way he played. Physical safety, nose around the football. Again, just like with Cam. I mean, both of them were very, very good in this as a combo in the secondary. So I definitely would be pumped up if they get him. Tyler and Cooper. Yeah, I mean, it changes the line. Like I said, let's see. I don't believe Rico and Deuce Vaughn being able to bring our running game back. No, we got to get something, man. We got to get something. I'm with you. I'd be pretty disappointed if the running back room that we have today is what we're going to ride with. Again, that's just going to put all the pressure again on the passing game to be lights out every single week, and you just can't expect that. It's like I said, I give Dak his criticism, give him the his share of the blame and this and that, but you guys, you can't throw all the pressure on the offense to be lights out. I mean, they showed it. NFL led the NFL with 9 games over whatever points, 30 points, 40. I know they had a ton of 40-point games and this and that. You can't continue to put all that pressure on them. So, and then also 340 people hanging out in the cave, man. I definitely appreciate the love, support. Like I said, man, I'm a fan. I'm a fan like you guys, and that's what this channel is. It's just some fans mixing it up. The ultimate goal I have really with this channel is to make it so interactive to where you guys are calling in, you guys are streaming, and we did a little bit of that on draft night for the first round. I want to do that more, but some people get shy. They want to be a little camera shy, a little phone shy, or you just want to sit back and listen. I get it, but I appreciate all the support, the subscribers. Like I said, for you guys listening, just understand this. When we get to 3,000 subscribers, which we're actually, we've eclipsed 2,500. We're getting closer to 2,600 now. When we get to 3,000, I have a really cool, Bob Lilly was on our show, Mr. Cowboy, first draft pick ever in Cowboys history, one of the greatest players in NFL history on the all-75 team, all 100 greatest team, and this and that. I got a Funko Pop that's Tom Landry, and Bob Lilly signed it with a ton of inscriptions on there. It's a really cool piece for your Cowboys cave. And then when we get to 5,000, which we got our work cut out, right? We're a little over halfway there. 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to raffle. I'm going to draw a live drawing. You have to be present to win. So the odds are always pretty good. Let's say there's 360 people in there. That's a pretty good odds. They are my club seats. Understand what I just said? Club seats, you get 2 of them. Retail value from Jerry, the lot. but I'm going to give you 2 of those club seats to go to a game. You can take me. You can take Kelly. You say, screw you guys. I'm going to take my buddy. I'm going to take my wife, take my husband, whatever you guys want to do. But it's very simple. It doesn't cost you a nickel. All you got to do is hit the subscribe. So if you're watching now on Instagram, you're watching on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is, Facebook, at some point, slide on over to YouTube, search the Cowboys Cave, and go ahead and hit that subscribe. And then, like I said, when we get to it, I'm going to do it. But those are the things we do. For a lot of the new people, we get a lot of former Cowboys in, former NFL, share some stories. And it's really just about having a good time, man. Eugene Lockhart, if you guys missed it, draft night, he came back in the cave. He's feeling a lot better, and we just had a great time with Eugene. So those are the kind of things that we love to do and mix it up with the fans. And honestly, that's why I created this thing, man. It wasn't for the money, man. It was for the interaction and to have some fun with Cowboy fans, because I love my Cowboys. So and yeah, Chris, appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. We don't have enough weapons on offense. I agree, but then I'm thinking, man, our offense was top 5. Our offense was top 5. The weapon that you can have on offense, and I don't know if you agree or disagree, is in the running game. That's where we're missing. You get, like you said, you got Lamb. Ferguson just came on late. Like, I think you're going to see Ferguson. He's my guy next year that is going to take it to the next level. Cooks got going, middle of the season. Tolbert, it's kind of like going to be put up or shut up, obviously, with him. And they got a couple other, receivers that are there. I think they have enough weapons on offense if they get a running game. If they get a running game, I think they have enough weapons. Like I said, they've been top 5 in the NFL. But I think what happens is if their offense is struggling due to a lack of a running game and they get punched in the mouth on defense, that's what's happened to this team. I think a lot of it is just there's so much pressure on the offense. Appreciate it, Vince. You're always supporting the cave. Thank you so much, man. Tolbert was a second rounder. He was a third or fourth. He made progress his first 2 seasons. If he takes that other step, yeah. But it's kind of getting to the point where, you're going in your 3rd year, either move up or move out. And I like Tolbert. I think he's got some potential. But, with Gallup gone, and I don't think Gallup was worth the contract, and that's what happens in this sport. If you're not worth it, they're going to move on from you. He did bring those 1 or 2 catches, those big catches you need. They got to replace that. They're going to have to replace that. And, Gallup, that's what he was known for. So I'm not saying they got to get a guy like that to replace it, but they're going to have to do something. Get our safeties out of linebacker and back to safeties. I think that's what this draft, and obviously getting Kendricks is now done. But yeah, Brooks is the other one. Yeah, Brooks is the other one. And they got to take it, and they got to get to that next level and get that next step going. So, but it's been a good draft, man. It's been a good draft for the Cowboys. I can't believe the quarterbacks that went, 6 quarterbacks in the first, was it 12 picks, 13 picks? You got to know 4 of them are not gonna live up to the hype, and that sucks. I want all of them to do well, honestly. And I think with college, the way the game's evolved, these guys are coming in quarterback ready. I mean, back in the day, it was like sit for 3 years and you get your turn. I mean, these guys are going to go at it. The interesting one's going to be with Penix and with Kirk Cousins. He's not happy, and you got mixed emotions, because if I was a fan of Atlanta, I'd be kind of pissed in the fact of you're trying to win now. You went out and spent a lot of money on a quarterback to win now. And then you get a quarterback that they said is going to sit for 2 to 3 years. And, I think that's good. I think, you get a quarterback, and that's where I say on the flip side, you got a quarterback that you really liked and you took him. But I don't know if you take the 8th pick for the guy to sit for 3 years. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Atlanta, because there's a lot of unhappy people. But I would say too is with Kirk Cousins is, hey man, don't be a crybaby about it. Go compete and show them that you are the top dog. I mean, competition is great. I think the mistake that the Cowboys have made, with Dak Prescott, is he's never had any competition. And I think you need competition. I don't care if you're the sure number 1 guy. There's got to be someone on your heels. I mean, Jimmy Johnson did it. He drafted Steve Walsh after you drafted Troy Aikman. And I mean, that would be unheard of today, to draft 2 quarterbacks in the first round, because essentially they gave a first round pick to it was in the supplemental draft, and it cost them a first round pick. Now he used Walsh to get more first round picks and more draft picks, which turned into, helping that team get over the hump into the team of the 90s. But there was a time, go watch the 89 season, where they were pulling Aikman and throwing Walsh in the game if Aikman wasn't doing good. So there was no guarantee that Aikman was going to be the man and is the man and this and that. I don't care what anyone says. You can go back to that year. There was a division between some of the coaches because they're all Miami guys, and Steve Walsh was their guy that just won them a national championship. So now Aikman clearly was the better quarterback. Thank God it worked out that way, because I don't know if we won the Super Bowls, but competition makes people better. I mean, you have competition at other positions. I don't know why quarterback would be any different. We need a running game. Absolutely. Can't throw the ball 40 times. Can't put it all the pressure on the quarterback and wide receiver. Got to have a running game. Got to have a running game. And Atlanta concerned with his overall health. Yeah, he's coming off an injury. Well, why the hell would you pay all that money for him? I mean, maybe Fields didn't want to go to Atlanta or something like that. I don't know. And of course, you don't know how the draft's going to work out. You don't know how it's going to work out. And I would say with Atlanta pulling to Green Bay, remember, Green Bay, took Aaron Rodgers. He was a later first round pick. And a top 8 pick. I would have traded down maybe, unless they felt that someone was going to take him. I mean, that's where you just don't know. But I'm just saying they're probably doing the right thing. I mean, hindsight, it probably end up being the right thing when all's said and done. I'm just saying from a fan's point of view, I'm looking at a defensive end that I could have got at 8. I'm looking at trading down and gathering picks that could have helped this team. So as a fan, I'd be pissed. But that's why we're fans. We're not experts. That's why, all these guys, Tyler Guy, oh, terrible pick. He's going to suck. He's going to this and that. I heard the same with Tyler Smith. I heard the same with Micah Parsons. And when I say this, I heard this from our own fan base. I did a video when we got Micah Parsons, and I'll go back and I could show all the comments where they said it's a worst pick the Cowboys could have done. Why do you draft a linebacker, with that high in the draft? I mean, so many different things were said about Micah Parsons. There's a reason why we're sitting on the couch, and there's a reason why there's people that are scouts that are in the war rooms. We don't know. I mean, we're not studying it to the level they are. Now they're going to miss. Sure. You'll never understand how a 20-year-old kid is going to respond, when he becomes a professional athlete, and you got the glam and you got the money and you got the limelight, you got everything, especially when you go to the Cowboys, it's even more. So anyway, Travis Frederick, that was the other one I mentioned too. Same thing. Cowboy, why would you take him? Could have got him a 3rd round. They're a bunch of idiots. The Cowboys haven't made a mistake with a first round lineman. I mean, Martin, Frederick, Smith, and Smith. All pros out of all of them. 2 of them are going to have gold jackets. One of them is early in his career, but Tyler Smith, if he continues down the path he's in, I mean, he's already made all pro in his 2nd year. He could have a gold jacket. So I'm gonna give a little faith. I'm gonna give a little time on the Cowboys when it comes to offensive linemen. And again, with the DN, and then they get they get Nealon, they get Cooper Beebe, they get the linebacker from Notre Dame. I mean, the thing I like about the linebacker, again, I said it before, he's a hitter, he plays with some aggression, he's got a little bit of attitude. I think that's what this team needs. And we talked about this team. To me, what is missing? Why can't we get over the hump? What is the problem? And to me, a lot of it's attitude, man. It's all in here. We got the talent. That's why I say we could dog Jerry. And I do. I dog him. We could dog Jerry. But this has been a 12-5 team for 3 straight years. This team has been good. I mean, for a long time. Let's say from Romo to Dak, this team, it's not like we've had some shitty-ass teams, barring catastrophic injuries, of course. We had some injuries, in the Romo years and then the Dak year. But when healthy, this team has always been in the hunt. The problem is when it comes nut-cutting time in the playoffs, there's something missing. There's something missing. And to me, it's in between the ears, and it's that mentality. It's that dog. It's It's that everything, and I think that is the problem. That is the problem, and that is what this Cowboy team is lacking. And maybe through this draft, maybe addition by subtraction, maybe getting Zimmer in here. I mean, you heard George Teague, who was on our show last week, talk about Zimmer. He played for Zimmer. He went up and he talked about he went to Minnesota and watched Zimmer, watched kind of a lot of film and watched this and that. Understand? I mean, he's coming in with an attitude. And it's going to be a different defense. It's going to be a different defense. So, yes, I like it. That's what I want to see. Quit ignoring my comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Draft Braylon out. Look, here's the thing, my man Steve. I love you from the U. Braylon Allen. If we got Braylon Allen and James Williams, your boy's going to be really happy. And I know my man Steve is, and I do apologize, man. You guys got to understand, I can't see that well. And I got these little nerdy glasses, my reading glasses. I don't want to put those on because I know how social media is, and you guys will be snapshotting videos, making fun of me, and calling me an old man. And why is this old guy running in here dropping hype videos? So I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you guys a satisfaction, but I am breaking out my "How About Them Cowboys" Jimmy Johnson shirt. When he went to the Ring of Honor, I had to fight like hell to get a shirt. It's not the exact shirt I wanted. I wanted the other one, but this one will do. But no, man, I just love kicking it with you guys. And you guys make it easy, man. Some people say, how do you do these shows by yourself? Well, thankfully, I got you guys helping me out. And the way to help out even more, again, I'll say it one more time because now we're over 450, is if you guys are watching this on X, if you're watching me on Instagram, if you see, I can't see your comments on Instagram. So if you're leaving comments on Instagram, that's a shitty part about it. I can't comment to you on Instagram, and you can't see the comments on Instagram. And I think it's the same with X. So that's why you want to be on YouTube so we can interact. Because I know I got some haters on Instagram and probably got some on Twitter that want to tell me how they feel about me or about the Cowboys. I can't respond. So you're saying this to nobody. I think Facebook is the only one where you can interact. But head on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of giveaways going on, and that's the best way to support the channel, free of charge. I'm telling you, free of charge, you're supporting the channel, and you're allowing us to keep things, this thing rolling. So anyway, that's my PSA one more time because they say I got to do it good. So let's see, Guyton Smith, BB Martin Steele. That's what it's going to look like, Steven. That's what it's going to look like. I think that's what it is. And there, I love you, Steve, man. Hopefully I'll see you down in Miami at a game, Dallas at a game. We're going to the Florida-Miami kickoff classic. Nothing like going to the swamp and slapping them Gators around the field. So my Canes, feeling good about my Canes, or our Canes, I should say, since you're a fan too. So it's gonna be good. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Love me some Canes. But yeah, supporting the channel on YouTube is the way to do it. So if you guys at some point get over to YouTube, all you gotta do is search Cowboys Cave. If you're even unsure, go to cowboyscave.com on that website. There's a little subscribe thing. It takes you right there. But go back and watch some of the interviews, man. We had a lot of fun with a lot of these players. George Teague and his son JT, they do a great channel, Teague's Take, on YouTube. Subscribe to that as well. They bring it from a college, right? A lot of Alabama, but he does some Cowboy stuff too. But we had a lot of fun. You got to go back and watch that video. We had a lot of fun with them. And really, there's so many great content creators that work very hard. And as someone who, kind of started this as a hobby, and I still kind of do it as a little bit of a hobby because, I do have a full-time job. It's really awesome to be able to interact and to be able to talk to Cowboy fans. Like I said, I live in Florida. I've lived in Florida my whole life, big Cowboys fan. We didn't have social media, in the late 80s and the 90s. So there was no way to talk to Cowboys. I was like the only Cowboys fan, maybe one or two sprinkled around, but that was pretty much it. So I had no outlet to talk to Cowboy fans. And then going to the games now, getting that opportunity as I gotten older to be able to afford to go to a couple games, it's been rewarding. And now even social media to be able talk to Cowboy fans and get you guys on the show and do this and that. It's been a lot of fun, man. So make sure you guys hop over and support it. And Kelly is in Dallas. We got boots on the ground today. I'm going to be on Cowboys Can Fan, so make sure you guys look for them. That's going to be this afternoon, I think 3:30 Eastern maybe. We'll be on there. And then also UK Cowboys, I'm going to be hopping into them. So make sure you subscribe to their channels as well. And make sure you check us out on there. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, let's see what we got. I know Cam was ranked ahead of James Williams, but his Hurricanes from James Williams, I don't know if he's as good as Cam. They're very even. I could take either one of them. I agree with that. I think Cam has a little bit more of just has a knack for the ball a little bit more. But James Williams is a great athlete, a great player. He's got the swag, and I'd be ecstatic. I'd be ecstatic if we can grab them. So definitely trade up. That's the thing. I'm looking at the running backs, and are these I think you got to get a running back the next pick. I think they're being very arrogant in themselves if they don't. I think they're being very arrogant and just overly optimistic of what they have in their running back room. And like I said, I'm not there, so they may know something I don't know. But all I know is what I saw, and what I saw from the running game is not what I want to see this year. So you can't go in with the basically same running game minus Pollard, adding Zeke. That's not an upgrade. That's not an upgrade if you keep everything the same. So they're going to have to do. They're going to have to do something. I can't believe Wright. Do you guys know something I don't know? How is he still available? Like Blake Corum, I know he's good, but I would have. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know how Wright is still available. If they jumped up and got him, I mean, I would be doing backflips. I'd be doing a hype video in here as soon as it happened. There's no doubt about it. So, but anyway, hey, I just want to Texas A&M. Well, I saw my Canes beat A&M, so that was always good to see. So anyway, hey guys, I gotta bail out because I'm going. Like I said, I'm going to see my son play some flag football. See what they got. But hey, like I said, if you're watching now, man, 500 on there, man, go over to YouTube as soon as the show ends. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like on the video. All those kind of things help us out, help support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And I really, really, really appreciate all the support, all the, to the channel. And yeah, we're going to have some fun today. I'll have some fun. It's hopefully my son, they win their game. But again, I appreciate everything. It's been so much fun. And like I said, that live stream of the draft, we had a great time. I mean, there was so many laughs, great time. I don't know if I could do that for a game. Maybe we will. I don't know if I could do it. I just don't know if I could do that for a Cowboys game. But anyway, we'll figure something out. I know we did one for the preseason last year. Maybe we do it. I could definitely handle a preseason game. So we'll figure it out. But make sure you hit that subscribe, like, share. When we get to 3,000, we got a great giveaway that we're going to do. 5,000 2-club seats to a Cowboys game. That has to get done pretty soon. So there have to be all you guys have to start, we got 50, 60,000 followers on all this platform. All it takes is you guys to get over there and subscribe. We can make it happen this weekend. But when the schedule comes out, your boy picks the games, and then the rest kind of go up for sales. So we're going to run out of time this year. It's going to have to push over to next year. But if we get it before the season, well, I'll definitely give it away for this year. So I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone in the chat, all you guys. Too many to name. But again, you guys are always in here. I always read them afterwards. Anything I missed, and I hope I try and get to them all. But I definitely appreciate it. And you can always leave a comment in the videos afterwards, and we can get some chat going back and forth. So yeah, I won't be doing a live stream, but I'm going to be on live shows. So Cowboys Can Fan, one more time. Cowboys Can Fan, UK Cowboys. I'm going to see if there's a possibility that I can live stream it, dual stream it on my platform. If I can, I will. But if not, head on over to those guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. Man, those guys are crazy. Those guys are fun. Hopefully we'll be able to meet out and meet out at one of these games. And your boy Mark Holmes is out. He's got boots on the ground in Detroit. Good luck for him. That's not a place I want to hang out. But hopefully everything else is well. I got to roll, otherwise I'm going to be late. You guys take care. Let's knock this draft out of the park. Let's get a running back. Let's get some defensive tackles. Let's get Cowboys Nation feeling a little bit better, because I know you guys have been feeling a little sad, but I'm ready to get this Learjet fueled up, and we're going to be going out of town to AT&T, and we're going to be partying. I can't wait to hang with Cowboys Nation. So you guys have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you guys later today on the shows. Take care. Peace.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry.